Hello, everyone out there in Rumble, Lex, and YouTube land. Welcome back to Diego Knows. I, of course, am Diego, and today we're going to talk some more about Babygirl. That's right, Babygirl. Okay, that movie that you didn't watch, but I watched it. So now you're going to hear about it, okay? We're going to talk about this abortion of a movie, okay? Honestly, this movie triggered me so much that that's the reason I decided to review it. Almost everybody I've spoken to about this movie that I'm reviewing basically asked me why the hell did I pick this movie. You know, there's so many other movies out there I could have reviewed. There's even TV shows I could have reviewed. Instead, I decided to pick this movie, a movie that practically nobody saw. It was a movie that was created so an actress, an over-the-hill actress, could feel better about herself. Okay, and so could a failed actress. Who decided to write and direct this piece of crap because she failed as an actress. You know, she's an ugly lesbian, and she couldn't get any roles. So she had to go behind the camera. Okay, that's probably the reason why one of the three leads, okay, Antonio Banderas, he happens to be a director, a theater director. Okay, so of course he gets cuckolded in the movie. Okay, which fulfills the fantasies of the writer. Okay, Helena Rain. Okay, this Dutch lesbian, progressive activist who hates men. Okay, this is her catharsis. Okay, for her own failed situation. Okay, this is the third movie she's done. Okay, and she managed to nab Nicole Kidman to be in this one. Okay, probably because Nicole Kidman isn't really getting that many offers anymore. I mean, she's past her prime. Okay, she's 57 years old and she's playing a 49-year-old in this movie. She does not look 49, she looks 57. She looks like a 57-year-old trying to look like a 35-year-old, okay, with all the Botox that she has in her face and all the Ozempic that she's taken to slim out her body. Okay, unfortunately, she doesn't have the muscle tone, okay, that she probably had when she was younger. Okay, so it just doesn't work. This looks like a woman having a 3/4 of a life crisis. Okay, a woman who doesn't want to admit that she's aged out. Okay, her kids are like 17, 18 years old and 12 years old. Okay, what kind of a 57-year-old woman has children that age? Okay, she should be the grandma. Her children should be bringing her grandchildren to visit her. Okay, not having 12th grade birthday, 12th year birthday parties and stuff at her house. That's ridiculous. Okay, so like the movie just doesn't it's not plausible. Okay, this woman, we're supposed to believe that she's a CEO of a company, but she makes stupid ass decisions, things that any normal person, even like a woman who works at Wendy's or something, is not going to make these decisions. Okay, that Romy Mathis makes in this movie. Okay, that's the character's name, Romy Mathis. That's who Nicole Kidman plays. Okay, all sorts of things that are wrong here. All sorts of abuses of power. Okay, she's having an affair with one of her interns. She's the CEO and she's having sex with an intern. Not only that, but she's doing it on business grounds. Okay, on company property, in her office, in the men's room, in closets, in elevators. Okay, they're going to nice hotels. They're going to seedy motels. They're doing it in stairways. Okay, they're doing it in cars. Okay, they're doing it like in back rooms of nightclubs. I mean, they're doing it everywhere, even the fucking swimming pool of her house. Okay, so nothing is sacred for her. Okay, she starts off this affair, and the viewer, you, me, the people watching this movie, we're supposed to relate to her. We're supposed to understand how she's easily susceptible to being seduced by this young man, because this young man is an alpha male. He likes to tell people what to do. Okay, she gives him superpowers that he doesn't have. He basically tests her limit, which in real life, if me or any other guy were to do this in real life, if we were to ask a disrespectful question to the CEO of a company where we're the intern and it's our first day, we would get dismissed immediately. If we were to proposition, okay, the CEO of a company, you would face an HR review, okay? In fact, you'd probably just get fired because it's the CEO, okay? It's not some mid-level management that you were being inappropriate with, okay? You see what I mean? Okay, but that doesn't happen here. Okay, the more he pushes, the more she relents. Okay, the more she gives into him. Okay, and that's just not realistic. Even if she did have a fantasy like that, you're not going to convince me that at 57 years old, she just now found a guy to fulfill that fantasy. That's bullshit. You're not going to convince me of that at all. Okay, no woman, no strong, independent, boss bitch woman like this, okay, is not going to succumb to her fantasies way before now, way before 57 years old. Okay, she would have been doing this in college, okay, at the latest. Okay, she would have been doing this in her first or second marriage. Okay, maybe not her first marriage, but she probably met a guy during her first marriage when she was like in her late 20s, early 30s. Cheated on him with a guy who knew how to take dominance. Okay, how to make her do what he wanted. That kind of how to manipulate her. Okay, and then that would have been her second marriage, and then that would have fizzled out because the guy was not good for anything else. Okay, and she's got a career. Okay, she can't be bullied around when she's got all these employees that she has to pay. Okay, and she has a board of directors that she has to produce for. Okay, that kind of thing. That would more likely be realistic. And a guy like that who could easily seduce a woman like her would be seducing other women as well. So she couldn't count on him to be faithful to her. Okay, but that's never brought into question in these movies. Okay, that's never brought into question here. Okay. Like this, here's a guy who clearly, okay, is not going to be faithful to you, okay, but yet you're going to give up your marriage and your family, okay, and your career for this. This makes no sense. What kind of a woman would do this? Now, I'm not trying to make her an angel or anything like that. I do believe that a woman like Romy Mathis would have cheated on her husband to get her kinks, okay, but the idea that she would do it with one of her interns is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Why would any woman, why would any person put themselves in that much trouble? Okay, if she wants to cheat on her husband, do it like a regular woman, okay? Find another guy that's into that shit and go fuck him, not one of your employees. Okay, maybe someone who works in a rival company or a sister company or something like that. Okay, you can honestly tell me there's no other men that she's attracted to that have this kink as well. Okay, no, it's got to be the 25-year-old intern. That's ridiculous. That makes no sense at all. Okay, she would have found another guy to fulfill that with. Okay, she would have had a regular lover, not some fucking 25-year-old intern, maybe a guy in his 30s, okay, maybe 40s or something like that. Okay, that she would be having sex on a regular basis with. They would have their own little red room. He would tie her up, beat her up, whatever she likes. Okay, that would be happening, and her husband would not know about it. Okay, because she can compartmentalize that. She doesn't have to put her company at risk. She doesn't have to put her professional reputation at risk. Okay, the worst thing that could happen is her husband would find out, okay, and she would get divorced, okay, but the company would be intact. There'd be no scandal, there'd be no blackmail, no nothing like that. That is what a real woman in this situation would have done, but they're not going to do that in this movie. No, they got to push the envelope even more. No, it's got to be one of her interns. Okay, now I understand there's a lot of old, unattractive women out there that wish that they could still get the kind of guys that they used to get when they were in their 20s, and they can't anymore. So this fulfills that fantasy for them. Okay, but it is a fantasy. It's not realistic at all. Okay, yes, there are women out there older than 57 that can get some young hot stud. Okay, to plow them on a regular basis. Okay, but those women have to pay those men. Okay, there's plenty of examples. Okay, look at someone like Madonna or Cher. Okay, these women pay young men, okay, to date them and to fuck them, and in exchange, these men get to travel over the world with them. They get to smile for the paparazzi with them, and all that kind of stuff. Okay, it's a form of insecurity where these women, these over the hill women, want to act like they're still hot, and they got to rub it into these other women who don't have the money, who don't have the plastic surgery, who don't have the movie connections or the music industry connections or any of that kind of stuff. Okay, to show them, the average woman out there who's in her 50s or 60s, okay, and feels feels ugly. Here's a woman in her late 60s, okay, who's got a hot young 23-year-old guy with a big dick and ripped abs, and he's 6'4", right? Okay, and she's posing with this guy. This guy's plowing her out, okay, but at the same time, he's not doing it because he cares about her. He's doing it because that's his sugar mama, because she's paying him to do that. She's flying him around the world. Okay, she's buying him fucking Lamborghinis and shit. Okay, putting him up in a fucking multi-million-dollar condos and stuff like that. And I'm pretty sure she lets him fuck other guys. Okay, because most of these guys are gay. Every once in a while you'll get a straight guy, but a straight guy's gonna want to fuck other women. He's not just gonna want to fuck the old bag that's paying him. You see what I mean? So yeah. So realistically, that's what it would be. Okay, but we're supposed to believe that guy is legitimately in love with her, and until death do us part bullshit, and that's just not realistic. Okay, that's not realistic at all. Okay, just like this movie's not realistic. I do believe that she would cheat on her husband. Absolutely. I do not believe that she would keep this fantasy of hers about being dominated. I do not believe that she would keep that a secret for 30 years or 19 years, because the movie is not specific as to when they got married. In one scene, her husband Jacob, Antonio Banderas, tells her, hey, the last time you came to visit me at work was back in the late 90s, okay, which would have been like 30 years ago, or almost 30 years ago, okay. But then later on in the movie, she tells her husband that you've never given me an orgasm ever, okay. When she tells him that to his face, okay, when he was just asking her what was wrong, he wasn't even being rude to her or nothing, she just said that to him, okay. She said that they've been together for 19 years. So what the fuck is it? We don't know. There's no way in hell you're going to convince me that this woman has been keeping this secret that long. Okay, she would have found an outlet for this. She would have been fucking another guy. And realistically, okay, Antonio Banderas' character, Jacob, I mean, he's a fucking theater director. He's up to his ass in young starlets. Okay, he's one of the gatekeepers of the fucking industry. He'd be up to his ass in young women who will do anything for him just to be cast in one of his plays. Okay, just to be invited to one of his parties. Okay, the people that can make these women's careers happen go to the parties that he goes to. So of course she would want to network that. Okay, so realistically, he would have no problem having young, hot, more attractive women. Okay, to have sex with. Okay, and the more sex you have with women, the better you get at it. Okay, and that's just true. Unless you're paying for it, okay, then it's all about them pleasuring you. But if you legitimately can seduce a beautiful woman and have sex with them, if you can do that on your own, okay, you're gonna get better at sex. That's just how it works. Okay, so if he'd been the kind of guy that was fooling around, if he'd been a high value guy instead of some beta male, which is the only type of men that women like Helena Rain know how to write, if she had been some sort of alpha male, okay, then Romy never would have had to step outside of her marriage. He would have taken care of her. Not only would he have taken care of her, okay, she would not have minded that he went out and fucked a bunch of young women either. You know why? Because her needs are already being met, and she knows damn well, okay, that he's not going to throw her away. Okay, a billionaire CEO, he's not going to throw her away for some fucking 19-year-old chick, okay, who sucked every cock in fucking New York in order to get a role in a play. You see what I mean? Who's living in a fucking apartment with 3 other sluts. Okay, he ain't going to do that. You see what I mean? So, like, everybody wins. Okay, but no, the movies ain't gonna do it. It's gonna do it the other way around. Okay, she's the one that's fucking around. She's the one that's risking her marriage. She's the one risking her career. Okay, the respect from her children. What are her children gonna think when they find out that mommy has been cheating on daddy? Not only that, but mommy broke daddy's heart. What are they going to think about mommy when that happens? Okay, now I can tell you realistically what they would think, okay, because I know plenty of people where that's happened. I know plenty of guys, okay? In fact, just the other week, a guy was telling me his story about that, about how his mom, when he was a teenager, his mom was having an affair on his dad, and she actually left his dad, divorced him to be with the other guy. Okay, and he was telling me he was like 13 at the time when it happened, okay? And it fucking devastated him because he loved his dad, and now his dad couldn't live with them anymore. Now he could only see his dad like every second weekend, okay? And here's this guy, that had come around the house every once in a while, but now this guy is like fucking living with him and his mom and his sister, his younger sister. Like, what the fuck, And he's fucking mad about it. He's been mad about it for a long time. It took him decades to get over this. Okay, what his mother had done to his dad. Okay? That's realistic. That's what happens. Okay? That's what happens in real life. You see what I mean? Okay? That's a consequence of your actions. Okay? Especially when your kids love the dad. Okay? When you fuck that up, there's going to be some resentment there. That's realistically what would happen. Okay? He became rebellious, my friend. He became rebellious. He got into smoking and drugs and stuff like that. He ran away from home when he was 17. He fell into a bad crowd. Okay? Now, a few decades later, he managed to get his life back together, but he held on to that anger towards his mom for like 20-something years. I mean, she's passed away now. Okay? But that's a lot of years, okay? Where he refused to talk to her. Okay? He cussed her out. He blamed her for everything, for all of his problems. He blamed her for his own fucking drug addictions and shit. Okay? You see what I mean? That's what happens realistically. But you're not going to see any of that here. You're not going to see any of that in this movie. Okay? There's no consequences. And that's what pisses me off about the movie. There are no consequences for our main character. Our protagonist does not suffer anything for her actions. Nothing. There are no consequences. She doesn't just fuck over her husband. She fucks over her kids. She fucks over her company. Yet she suffers no repercussions. None. Now, I know this is a fantasy, but come on, there's got to be stakes. Isn't that the point of this movie? Is that there's stakes, okay? When you're risking something important, it turns her on. It turns her on knowing that she just might lose her marriage over this. Okay, she might lose her company over this. She might lose her respectable image over this. She might lose her kids' respect over this. She might lose a lot over this, and that's what turns her on. Okay, but at the end of the day, when everything's all set and resolved, she doesn't lose anything. So there's nothing to worry about. You see what I mean? And this is just not realistic, okay? I give you a straight man's point of view. That's what I do here, okay? So if you're easily offended, if you're easily triggered, get the fuck out right now. I'm not going to censor myself to spare your feelings, okay? I'm going to give you a bit dose of truth, okay, whether you like it or not. The real question you got to ask yourself is, can you handle it? Can you handle the damn truth? Because I know damn well you cannot, and you will not, but you're going to get it anyway, baby. Straight up with no lube. There ain't no lube here. Don't even look for any. I ain't got any. Because I don't need any. Anyway, okay, so before I get into the movie here, let me get this out of the way real quick before I forget. Okay, this right here, okay, Diego knows that knows Diego right there. That is my X. All these videos go on X as well. They don't just go on YouTube. Okay, that's it right there, X. Okay, and down here, Diego de la Vega knows that is my Rumble, because all these videos go on Rumble as well. Okay, and the reason I do that is because Rumble actually likes my videos. I get more views on Rumble than I do on YouTube. I wonder why that is. I wonder why. Okay, but yeah, that's what I do here. I'm going to review these chick flicks and give you a straight man's point of view. All right, so let's talk some more about this. Okay, now where we left off last time in this movie. Here, okay, we finally had the final confrontation between Romy, Jacob, her husband, played by Antonio Banderas, okay, and Samuel, her 25-year-old lover, played by a 27-year-old hairy-ass Dick-in son. Yes, that is his real name, hairy-ass Dick-in son. Okay, so they're all there. The three of them are there. There was a fight, okay, between Jacob, okay, and Samuel, whereas Samuel beat the crap out of him. Okay, so now they're all sitting there holding their face. Romy gave them both some iced vegetables in a bag to put on their face, and they have this conversation. Okay, this is at their country house. Okay, they have a house out in the country, and then they mostly live during the week in their penthouse in the city. Okay, but on the weekends they go to their country house. So that's where Romy exiled her. That's where she's exiled herself to after she confessed to her husband about the affair. And by confessed, I mean she lied to him. She did not tell him the exact truth. She only said it happened one time and he didn't know the guy. That's all bullshit. Okay, Samuel has been to his house in the country. He sat there in their breakfast table having breakfast with them. Okay, he's been invited to their penthouse for birthday parties for his children. Okay, she definitely knows who Samuel is. Okay, he did not know his wife was fucking Samuel, but he's definitely met Samuel before. Okay, he actually felt sorry for him because he told him his story about how he grew up blue collar. His dad was a poet or some crap, a security guard, that kind of stuff, you know. So he definitely knew who Samuel was. Okay, Romy told Jacob that it only happened one time. That's bullshit. They've been fucking like rabbits everywhere in this movie. Okay, hotels, stairways, bathrooms, you know, you name it. They've been doing it there. Offices, whatever. Okay, so that was also a lie. Okay, all that kind of a stuff. All right, and so he basically kicked her out of the penthouse, so she went to the country house to stay there by herself. It's just her and the damn Christmas tree. Well, guess what? What do you call it? She doesn't really feel bad. I mean, she's depressed for herself. She's more depressed that she can't see Samuel anymore because guess what? Samuel had a girlfriend. Yes, he did. And that girlfriend was Romy's own secretary. Okay. Esme, a black girl who's been bugging Romy all this time for her promotion. She wants to know if she can get her promotion, her raise. She doesn't want to be stuck being Romy's secretary forever. She wants to advance in the company. And Romy has not made that happen yet. Okay, despite the fact that she basically verbally eats her out all the time, telling Romy what a boss bitch she is, how incredible she is. You must have been raised by robots or Marines or some shit like that, okay? So she's always metaphorically eating out Romy's pussy, but Romy has not done anything to advance her secretary Esme's career at all. Well, now she's being blackmailed. Now Esme's blackmailing Romy. You're going to stop fucking my boyfriend. You are going to be the role model that I think you should be, and you're going to give me my goddamn promotion. Or else I'm going to go to HR and tell them about that you've been fucking one of the interns here. You know, that kind of thing, all right? So that's what really pisses off Romy. That's the only reason Romy confessed to her husband, okay, is because too many people know about their affair now, okay? And she's not going to be able to see Samuel anymore, okay? That's the only reason she confessed. Well, guess what? Samuel shows up at her country house while she's hiding out there, and he starts helping himself to the swimming. I guess they have no security there. She's a billionaire CEO of a big fucking robotics company. I guess they have no security at the country house. He just walks right in and jumps into the heated pool. She tells him to get out, then he throws her in. They have sex again. Okay, this is after she confessed to her husband that she'll never see this guy again. It was a mistake. She regrets it. She loves her husband and not the other guy, and it was only one time, blah, blah, blah. Well, yeah, she ends up fucking him again in the pool. So now they go inside the house and they start talking. She's telling them, you know, what we're doing is so wrong. It's not right. And then her husband walks in. Jacob walks in, sees Samuel and her on the floor together, gets into a fight with Samuel. Jacob gets his ass kicked. Okay, Jacob fucking tells Samuel that his wife has been using him. Okay, that, you know, I know my wife, you know, being dominated, all that stuff, that's just a male fantasy. Okay, it's a male construct. It's not real. Okay, women do not like to be dominated by men. Okay, women like men who are soy boy, limp dick pieces of shit, closeted homosexuals like me. That's what women find attractive. Okay, not strong, tough, independent men with big dick, square jaws, ripped abs, and can fuck like a racehorse. They don't like that. Okay, that's just a male construct. Okay, why do I say this? Because I went to all the Ivy League universities and I know it's true. Okay, well, of course, Samuel tells Jacob here, no, that is a dated concept. Okay, that is not true at all. I know, because I'm an amateur fucking sexual therapist myself. Okay, no, women like to be dominated in the bedroom, and your wife likes it in real life too. Okay, and I can make her come and you can't. That's the difference between you and me. Okay, and I'm sorry I hurt your feelings. So of course Jacob starts having a panic attack because he just found out that this fucking 25-year-old kid has been giving his wife more orgasms in 1 hour than he's given her in 30 fucking years. So he starts having a panic attack, and of course there's there's Samuel there to help him out, you know, give him some fucking water. It's okay, breathe, just breathe. It's okay. And he starts crying like a little fucking bitch. Well, he's been a bitch this whole fucking time. Okay, Romy never cries at all in this fucking movie, but fucking her husband Jacob cries all the goddamn fucking time. Okay, that's because the fucking lesbian that wrote this movie, that's what she does. She writes the men as women and she writes the women as men. Okay, so he's crying like a little fucking bitch. No wonder your wife is cheating on you. Okay, and Samuel's there to comfort him. The guy who's fucking his wife is there to comfort him. Go figure. Okay, because he rejects Romy's help. No wonder. I wouldn't even touch Romy. She's probably got fucking infested with AIDS. Okay, so anyway, so that's going on here. He's crying like a little fucking bitch. Samuel tells him, I'm sorry. Okay, and when he tells Jacob, I'm sorry for fucking your wife, Jacob's like, ah! He's crying even worse now. He's crying like a fucking baby in a crib. Okay, and then Samuel's like, okay, I'm really sorry, all right? And then he gets up and walks out the fucking door. Doesn't say goodbye to Rome. Romy's like, you know, while her husband is there crying, rolled up into a ball, crying like a little fucking bitch. And then she looks over and there's fucking Samuel all standing, he puts his shoes on and walks out the fucking door. Doesn't even pick up the flower pot that he fucking broke during the fight with her husband. He just gets it, puts his shoes on, walks out the fucking door. Okay, what the fuck is that? That's where we left off, okay? So that's going on here. Okay, blah, blah, blah. The next scene here, Esme. Okay, we find out that Esme is now promoted, okay? So I guess we jump forward a little bit here. Okay, Esme is now doing the in-house commercials for the company. She's the one standing in front of the green screen with the headpiece on, doing the fucking commercials. Now, Romy was the one who was doing that. Romy was the one who was making the internal commercials, you could say. The videos for the employees. She's the head of the company. So she makes these videos that all the employees have to watch at their desk. Okay, something like that. Okay, well now Esme's doing it. Okay, so obviously the blackmail worked. Okay, and Esme's now running a big part of the show now. Okay, she finally got promoted. Okay, her position now is Junior Leadership Coordinator, whatever the fuck that is. A Junior Leadership Coordinator. Okay, that's Esme's new job. Okay, so now you got a black girl doing this thing here. Okay, because apparently Romy wasn't just a duplicitous, cheating bitch. She was also a racist. Okay, moving right along, and that's our main character that you're supposed to sympathize with. Moving right along, you know, she's talking bullshit about women empowerment, all the other fucking, those buzzwords that fucking feminists and lesbians love to put into all the fucking movies. You know, men are all shit, women are all good, that kind of bullshit. Okay, typical. Okay, Romy lays in bed and she's listening to this bullshit. She's still at that country house there. Okay, she's listening to this stupid ass word salad speech. that fucking Esme is giving with words like sincerity, vulnerability, radical self-honesty, shared learning, true compassion, true uniqueness, and all these other bullshit words that mean absolutely fucking nothing. Sounds like fucking Kamala Harris there. Okay, Esme clearly is a DEI hire. Okay, she's woke as fuck. This whole movie is woke, and of course, Esme is the unsung hero in this movie because she's the woke black girl who now is promoted, so now she can pass off the wokeness to everyone else. Okay, and that's a good thing because we all know that companies that go woke make a shitload of money. They don't go broke at all. We all know this is true. Okay, so the company is officially woke now because of Emmy's promotion to junior leadership coordinator, whatever the fuck that means. Okay, so next thing you know, next scene here, Romy smokes in front of her swimming pool. She's just there. Okay, daydreaming or night dreaming, whatever the fuck. She's laying in her bed, in her couch, all fucking sulking and shit, being depressed. Not depressed that she fucked over her husband and that he's mad at her about it. Okay, no, she's depressed because she can't see Samuel anymore. Okay, well, guess what? Her daughter Isabel shows up. Isabel's the 18-year-old lesbian daughter. Both their daughters are lesbians. They're very proud of that. Okay, and guess what? Isabel is just as much a piece of shit as her mom is. Okay, because guess what? Isabel has a girlfriend named Mary, who she is also cheating on with the neighbor from the country house named Sophia. Okay. And actually, Romy caught them together in the swimming pool earlier in the movie. She caught her daughter, having sex in the swimming pool with a girl that wasn't her daughter's girlfriend. And she asked her daughter about that. And her daughter said, hey, listen, I got one to satisfy my emotional needs and another one just to fuck. Okay? And her mom is just like, instead of giving her daughter a lesson on how, someone's going to get hurt here, and it might be you, instead of a morality lesson here, because that's what a mom does when she sees her daughter doing something that could hurt somebody. And they just give each other high fives. Like, yeah, and they smoke cigarettes together too. Yeah, in the house. Yeah, because Romy's a piece of shit mom too, not just a piece of shit wife. Or CEO. Okay, well, Isabel comes to visit. Turns out she got her driver's license now. That's how she got there. Okay, and and her mom, Romy's just sulking there on the couch, feeling sorry for herself because Samuel's gone. Clearly, she has not returned to work. Obviously, she took some time off from her office job as the CEO of a fucking company. Okay, her lesbian daughter Isabel has a fucking mullet. Okay, it reminds me of Sting from The Police. Those of you are too old, too young to know who the fuck I'm talking about. But in the 90s, mullets were it. Okay, well, it ain't the 90s anymore. It's 2024, and Isabel has a fucking mullet, so she looks ridiculous as fuck. Okay, moving right along. Okay, she got the fucking Dalton haircut from Roadhouse. Okay, so she's there. Okay, Isabel tells Romy that she looks old. No shit, she's fucking 57. Okay, with a face full of fucking Botox. Okay, she looks fucking disgusting. Okay, now if you're gonna do an erotic thriller, don't cast a fucking 57-year-old whose face is all puffed up full of Botox. Cast a woman who's like in her 30s or 40s and still looks good. Okay, who works out and shit. Okay, give the men something to look at for fucking Christ's sake. All right, so that's going on here. Okay, she tells her mom that she looks old. Okay, she's driving a car now. She got her license. Okay, and Romy needs to come home. Okay, Mom, you need to come home. And she says, Dad needs you. No, he doesn't fucking need her. He does not need her. Okay, she's a lying, cheating piece of shit. Why would he need that? Why would he need a lying, cheating piece of shit? No, nobody needs that. Nobody needs that, all right? Okay. He doesn't. Dad won't leave the house. He won't leave the theater. He's always at work now. He never comes home anymore. He won't eat. He won't talk. He's reading the Bible for Christ's sake. Oh, no. Yes, he found Christianity. His wife of 30 years or 19 years, where the fuck it is, okay, who broke his heart, destroyed the fucking marriage. He can never trust her anymore. Okay, now he's reading the fucking Bible. He's trying to fucking come to God, come to Jesus to find a way to forgive his wife and to forgive himself for letting it happen. Okay, holy shit. Now, in this movie, that's a bad thing because everybody knows that all fucking Christians are a bunch of white supremacists who hate black people and gays. Okay, and that, of course, is what this movie is all about. It's all about hating white people, especially straight white men. Okay, so Christianity has to be looked upon as something horrific. Okay, and that's why Isabel loses her shit. okay? Because, you know, he's reading the Bible. Uh-oh. You see what I mean? Yeah. Christianity's fucking evil, okay? All Hollywood knows this, all right? So that's going on here, you know, he's reading the Bible, you know, that's the worst sin of all, okay? And she tells her mom, look, Mom, he'll forgive you if you come home. He will. How do you fucking know? She says, what did your father tell you? He didn't tell me anything, but whatever it was, he'll forgive you. Well, how the fuck do you know that? He doesn't talk to you about why would he talk to his daughter about her mother cheating on him? Okay, why the fuck would they? This is ridiculous. Okay, yeah, I can understand he's upset. He's reading the Bible now. Yes, his heart is broken. His life has got turned upside down. Okay, and a big part of that is Romy's fault. The other part of that is his own fault. Okay, he should have been paying more attention to his wife. And I know that's the excuse that women always use, okay, but it is fucking true. He should have been taking care of her. Now, the bigger part of this is Romy's fault. She never told her husband that he never made her go. She was faking her orgasms for 30 fucking years. How the fuck's he supposed to know? Okay? But he should have been fucking other women. Okay? He should have gotten good at bed, at making women come. Okay? That way he could have made his wife come. If he had done that, he could have walked in her forever. But he didn't do that. Why? Because he's a fucking limp dick soy boy. Okay? Probably raised by a single mom. Okay, no, never cheat on your wife. Treat your wife like a queen. Treat her like a princess. Blah, 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 all that kind of bullshit. And those are the guys that get fucked around on. They're the ones that get cheated on. Okay? Because he was faithful to her. He was a limp dick soy boy. Honest, okay? Doesn't harass women. You know, respects women and all this. Those are the guys that get fucked over by men who don't respect women. You see what I mean? Ugh. He is a fucking single mom's wet dream. That is what Jacob is. That's what every single mom wants their son to grow up to be. Okay? A fucking cuck like that. Who respects women. A fucking male feminist. Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, so in case you can't read between the lines here. Okay, clearly Isabel is not mad at her mom for destroying her dad. Okay? She's not mad at her mom, okay, for blowing up the fucking family. She's not mad at her mom for anything. At all. No resentment at all. Because that's realistic. Okay? All right. In fact, I'm pretty sure off camera they were giving each other high fives. Okay? All right. Because it's always okay when women cheat on the husband. It's never okay when a husband cheats on the wife. Okay? So that's going on here. Okay? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, now something here about forgiveness, okay? Isabel talks about forgiveness, okay? But forgiveness isn't what Isabel thinks it is. Okay, forgiveness does not mean that you fucking, that you're absolved of what you did. That's not what forgiveness is. All forgiveness means is that you no longer carry resentment in your heart for the person that hurt you. That's all it means, okay? If it meant what Isabel thinks it means, that means that, you know, like, for example, recently, a political activist, okay, a conservative, Charlie Kirk, was assassinated a month ago. Okay, everybody saw it. It happened live. He was doing a lecture, and he got shot. Okay, and he died. Okay, they caught the guy that did it. Okay, and his widow now, Charlie Kirk's widow, actually went on stage during a memorial service for her husband, and she publicly stated, I forgive the man that murdered my husband. I forgive him. Okay? She did that. Now, when she forgave him, does that mean that the killer, okay, Tyler Robinson, does that mean that the cops just looked at him in jail and go, oh, she forgave you. You're free to go. Is that what it means? No, it doesn't. Okay? All it means is that she is no longer going to hate this guy. She's no longer going to entertain ideas of hurting this man. She's not going to talk bad about him anymore, okay? She's not going to feel hatred for him anymore. She's not going to let herself go there, okay? Because she doesn't want to turn into a hateful, vengeful type of person. That's not what she wants to be. That's why she forgave him, okay? You can forgive your wife for cheating on you. That doesn't mean you're not going to divorce her fucking ass. You see what I mean? It doesn't absolve you of the consequence. That's what this movie does not understand. Forgiveness doesn't mean you get a pass. Okay? It just means I'm not going to fucking be mad at you anymore. I'm not going to hold this over your head anymore. Okay? I'm not going to bring it up all the fucking time anymore. Okay? And I'm not going to try to hurt you back. That's all it means. It doesn't mean that you're absolved of the consequences of your own fucking actions. If a real man had written this movie, okay, he would not have taken her back. Okay? Get the fuck out of my life. Because I'm never going to fucking trust you again. You see what I mean? She'd been lying to him throughout the whole fucking movie. Why the fuck would she change doing that now? You see what I mean? That's what I'm talking about, okay? That's how people's behavior changes, okay? If you're doing something now, if you're a good person, okay, and you decide to do one bad thing, not even a big bad, maybe just something a little, okay? Maybe you fucking found $20 sticking out of a purse. Nobody's seeing you, just grabbed $20, boom. Nobody saw it happen. So what the fuck? And it's only $20, right? But when you feed into that type of behavior, you're gonna start wanting to do more and more of it. You see what I mean? When you do something bad and you get away with it, it gives you more courage to do something bad again. To the point where you start doing it more often and more often and more often. When you start feeding your worst nature, it gets stronger. You see what I mean? The more you do it, the stronger that malevolent side of you gets. Okay? What stops people from going all the way? They get caught. They get caught and they face the consequences. When I was a little kid, okay, when I was a kid, I was like 12 years old, 13 years old, something like that. I remember I was stealing comic books. Yes, because I used to read comic books. My family was poor, all right? So I stole a couple of comic books. I got away with it. I tried to steal a few more. Next time we went to the store, I got away with that too. So now I'm like, okay, I'm going to steal some more comic books, okay? Now it became a regular thing. And then one day I was at a comic book store, okay? And I stole some comic books and I'm walking out the door and they busted me. They caught me. They caught me with $40 worth of comic books hidden in my pants. Okay? They called the cops. They pressed charges. I'm like 13 years old. Okay? My mom had to come and get me. It was fucking horrible. Oh my God. I'd never been so humiliated and embarrassed. And my mom, and she took the belt on me for that. Okay? And I never heard the end of it. My mom, hell, I'm still grounded today. Okay? For that. Okay? My mom grounded me forever. Okay? For that. How dare I embarrass her and the family with what I did, that kind of thing, you know, everything, you name it, okay? All my privileges were revoked, okay? I was treated like shit for the next 6 months and even longer, honestly, to be honest with you, okay? I don't think my mom ever forgave me for that, for what I did, for stealing those goddamn comic books, all right? But one good thing that did come out of that is I never stole again. I never stole again because I got caught early. I got caught before I became a master thief. You see what I mean? That circumstance scared me from stealing so bad that I never ever stole again. Okay? Because if I had not gotten caught, I would have kept doing it. Until eventually I probably would have tried to steal something even bigger, and then when I got caught in the future, I might have had to go to jail. You see what I mean? The point is that I got stopped. I didn't keep doing it. Okay? Because I got caught. And that's how it works in real life. You know? If a wife, wants to really learn a lesson about not cheating on her husband, okay, she's gonna have to lose a husband. Okay? She's gonna have to fucking have a guy divorce her for what she did. Okay? That's gonna be consequences. She's gonna have to visit her kids now. She ain't gonna see them all the time anymore. You see what I mean? There's gotta be consequences. In this case, he would make off like a bandit because he's gonna sue her for alimony because she's a billionaire and he's not. You see what I mean? He would make more money off of divorcing her. Okay? Because she makes a lot more money than he does. You see what I mean? He's got everything to win here. But of course, that ain't going to happen. See what I mean? Because like I said, they wrote Romy as the man and they wrote Jacob as the woman. All right? So yes, there would be consequences. Having to split half of everything that you worked your whole life for, okay, with a husband because you fucked around on him. Yeah, that might, you might think twice about fucking around on your next husband. You see what I mean? This is how you learn. This is what stops the bad behavior. If there are no consequences, there's no impetus to stop what you're doing. You see what I mean? She doesn't even confess, honestly, about what happened. Okay, so anyway. Forgiveness means that you will no longer feel anger and resentment, okay, that you have towards the offender. Okay? That's why murderers don't escape prison, just because victims' families forgive them. Okay? Like I said. Well, it turns out Jacob didn't tell Isabel why. Okay, why mom was no longer living with them. Like I said, he never told her. Okay? But she figured it out on her own, obviously. She must have done something really bad. What could she have done that would make a dad kick her out of the house? She must have fucked around with him. Okay? So she figured it out on her own. Why? Because she fucks around with her girlfriend too. Okay? But guess what? The reason she's optimistic, the reason she thinks that her dad is going to forgive her is because her own girlfriend, Mary, found out that she was cheating on her too. And guess what Mary did? She forgave her. So Isabel tells mom, yeah, you know what? I know dad will forgive you. You know why? Because I got caught too. And my girlfriend Mary forgave me. Okay, there's a difference between two fucking lesbian teenagers in a love triangle and someone get their feelings and they get caught cheating, okay? Then fucking a couple's been married for decades, okay? Married for decades, okay? And gets caught cheating. There's a big fucking difference, all right? Anyway, so that's going on here. So even the daughter faces no consequences for her own actions. You see what I mean? Even the lesbian daughter doesn't have to face any repercussions for what she did either. You see what I mean? So in this world, when you're a woman, whether you're gay or straight, and you cheat on your partner, you will be forgiven by everybody. So what's the point of not doing it then? Everybody needs to fuck around with their husband or their girlfriend. You see what I mean? Because you won't face any consequences. There's nothing wrong with it. You'll automatically be forgiven and then you can just do it again. Okay, so that's going on here, okay? That's why Isabel's not mad at her mom, okay? Because she's a lying piece of shit too, all right? So everyone wins here, okay? She's like, it's okay, mom. Everything will be okay. Just come home, please. Just come home. Yeah. So, before Romy can come home, she has to go confront her husband, okay? And explain herself, okay? And she's going to go to his theater where he works. Apparently he's living there now, for the most part. Not even being a good fucking dad to his children. And we're going to talk about that in the next video. Okay, I'm pissed off. So I thank you for watching this long. I will see you soon in the next video. Bye.